Alright, this is Calibos. We're playing Project Ozone 3. So, the only automation I've currently done is setting up our Certus Quartz crystals to be changed into charged Certus Quartz crystals. I have done no more automation than that. And I know I was going to, but I didn't. So, there we are. But I have gone ahead and I went upstairs and I found like that there were 9 stacks of ground Certus quartz. So I just got 3 of it set aside, in here, and then got 6 stacks of glass, and then I made quartz fiber because it's what I can. Next step is fluix. So we want that. And we're eventually going to make more. So I generally would recommend, unless you do not have channels set up, don't use this stuff. I don't even know. So what we want is the smart cable, and the way we get the smart cable is we take wool and we put it on the fluix cable, basically insulating it, and then we apply both redstone and glowstone. So let's grab some glowstone. Let's grab some redstone. Let's grab some wool. Alright, so let's make some of this. Now, one of the things that frustrates me is to make this, we have to make the dense cable, which, is the covered cable. I mean, you can't make dense smart cable from regular smart cable, and that should be a thing. I don't know why it's not. But once we have the covered cable here, if we want to make dense, which we are going to need dense, so that gives us this, and now we can go ahead and get another set, and then we're going to go ahead and do this again. And this one we're going to go ahead and make into smart cable. Then we're going to do that. And that. Then we're going to make dense smart cable. Honestly, I'm probably going to go ahead and convert another bunch of those too, because that smart cable is a lot more useful than not. I mean, it really is. It's very great stuff. Okay. So, we now have dense cable. Now, I did leave a stack of the glass cable for crafting because we're going to need it. And I know it doesn't seem like we should, but we're going to need it. So the biggest thing here is now I do not want to have to automate all of my AE2 stuff with Ender IO conduits. So we are going to have to go and make formation and annihilation cores. Formation, and it's going to be logic processor, fluix dust, and charged Certus quartz. And then if we go for, well, let's just look for core. An annihilation core is basically the same thing with nether quartz instead, and that's 2 for 1. So it's not too bad. There's just a lot of layered crafting in this, so it's best to get into it as much as possible. So let's go ahead and make some of these. Again, I vaguely regret not having done them in advance, but I decided against it because I figured you should see what you're getting into, and by working through each of the individual steps, it will allow you to we need nether quartz and we need Certus quartz, charged nether quartz, and then we need to take some fluix dust. So let's go ahead and grab that, grab that, grab that, and then we'll go in here and we'll go boom, 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 and grab that. So we're just going to grind up a stack of this since eventually I'll be able to make more. So we'll come over here to the sag mill and go whack. Technically, if I have flint in here, this would be better. It doesn't really matter, I guess. But we now have the Certus quartz, or the flux dust, charged. Yeah, so we should just be able to do this and go boom, and this and go boom. So now we have these, and oops, there we go. So yeah, we should have that. Now we just need to make the export and the import buses. So we'll need some pistons for those. Port bus. If only I could spell, that would be helpful. So these are basically made with a piston, formation core, and iron for the export bus. And that's exporting from the system. So it takes from the system and puts it out. So it's basically making it. That's why you need the formation core. And then if we go to the import bus, it's the opposite. It needs a sticky piston and annihilation core. So it basically destroys the item and grabs it into the system. So we'll need a couple of pistons and stuff like that. We're also going to want to make a storage bus. So we're going to need an interface and 4 pistons. The interface is actually going to be pretty simple, and it's going to occupy the other 2 of our cores, some iron and some glass. So let's go knock that out. We're going to need 4 glass, and we're going to need some iron. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to need some, oh, look, iron. Let's get rid of that. I think we can get rid of that too. We need some, we've got wood, we've got iron, we need some cobble. Grab some, we've got some redstone. So let's go ahead and throw down for some pistons, storage bus. Pistons. We'll be okay with 16, and then we'll make half and half with slime. If I were slime, where would I be? I could use pink slime, I guess. 8. So this will give us sticky pistons and not sticky pistons. We still have some iron on us. So let's go ahead and make that storage bus, or interface first. Only the one. We're going to make that storage bus now. And the storage bus actually has a really useful thing. So for the moment, it's just taking up space, but we'll just put it out of our way over there, and then we'll connect it up with some smart cable, I guess. So at this point, we can actually get rid of this. I don't actually know if it connects to anything. Our next goal is we need to make the import and the output. So we'll go port. So we'll need one of those. And then we're going to need one of those. So now we have completed this quest. And that is this section over here. So what I'd like to go for next is this crafting terminal. And then after we have the crafting terminal, we'll start working on making a controller, because it is not super necessary the order that we do that in. So let's look at what we need for the crafting terminal. So first off, we need to get into a regular terminal. Applied terminal. So we need another annihilation core, a formation core, and a logic processor. So let's go ahead and raid some silicon. And we'll silicon. I know, I promise this will make our mess better. Okay, so the other thing that we need to do is we need to start getting into some additional inscribers, because we are running into bottlenecking for it. So we're going to want a bunch more hoppers. We're talking like 16 hoppers. And we're going to need 16 engineering processors. So let's go ahead and get our hoppers done. One, two. I think that I grabbed too many wood. So we'll get rid of that, We'll make some hoppers. Did I say that we needed 16 hoppers? I did, didn't I? Okay, so we'll go ahead and make some more. 1, 2. At which point we're going to need some more iron. There we go. Okay, so we now have the 16 hoppers we need. We've got a bunch of iron. So we need, did I grab a bunch of diamonds? Let's grab a bunch of diamonds anyway. Ooh. Yeah, we've got our last little bit of diamond here. So in order to do this, we're going to need terminal, a logic processor, which is gold. Oh no, we were making these. Sorry, I get so distracted. So we're going to need 18 engineering processors, which are diamond. So engineering and diamond. So we're almost there, or 16 of these. So we need 2 more. And engineering. Okay, so let's let this one finish up. Engineering, diamonds, go. Toss that in there. And then now that we have this, we can go ahead and do that and start getting our additional ones online. because every one that we get online, A, clears inventory space for us, and B, simplifies our setup. So 2 engineering processors gives us 1, 2 uses for that. Uses for that. Gives us that. And I think we can just slap that on there for now. Okay, so we can go ahead and engineering and throw these on there. Let's why are we not? Torches should be. There we go. So that gives us 2 more engineering, 4 more engineering, which sets up the next one. So now we can do this and this. So now there is a limit of stuff that we can have connected. So this will handle 8 things. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it can handle 2 more before we have problems. So let's go ahead and take advantage of this. So we can go ahead and logic, silicon, and uses for this. Oh, this one. So we just need 1 more and we've got it. All right, so there. And these should be all of the inscribers that we need forever. One of the things that we can do is they don't necessarily have to be connected. They just want to be having power. So we can temporarily not have them on the network, but still have power. So let's put that here. And we'll do that instead. So I think that they hold inventory. So we should just be able to place them down. And now if we take this quartz fiber and then we take the fluix, we can connect them, but they're not actually connected. So we can just run all of this up to the ceiling with this. 1, 2, 3. There. And you really want to avoid like weird loops like that, because it confuses the daylights out of your ME system, and it has trouble figuring out where it's supposed to go. So now, if we run a cable there, oops, apparently I can't count. So, all of that should have power. There's 1 effective channel going, and that's over there. So that's good. So this is actually a 2nd channel and a 3rd channel here. So we can reasonably assume that we now can make this again. So we'll need 2 of those. 1, 2, and these are made with interface, terminal, logic is gold, and it's logic, so if I were a logic processor, I would be alright, let's get all of our gold going, because we can now. And then that will give us logic processors. We'll need formation cores and annihilation cores again. We're getting towards my favorite part of this. So we're going to want, we can just take all of the Certus quartz and put it here. Alright, so terminal. Okay, so now we need to make the illuminated panel. And this one's kind of annoying to me because you have to click through it a couple of times until you get to the correct illuminated panel, which is just quartz glass, glowstone, redstone, and iron. Very simple, but you might have to, like I said, click through it a couple of times. Let's get some redstone. Each crafting gives you 3, which is pretty handy. And then from here, we need to just make our... Are we not carrying them around? Oh, right, we need more. That's why we made more. I promise this will make everything better. It just takes a second. So we do this, and then we combine it with a calculation processor, which I should have 1, and a crafting table, which we should be able to make from these convenient things. Pop that on there, and then we do this. And now we have 2 channels, device online, and this needs more power. But you saw very briefly until it ran out of power. Let's get a terminal going, a dense battery. Dense energy cell, which makes regular energy cells, which we need flux dust and Certus quartz. Certus quartz, flux dust, and then we need this, and that can go away temporarily. Do that, we do that, and then we do that. It needs 1 calculation processor, which clearly I do not have. But we're getting there. I promise. Calculation processor would be pure. So we need Certus quartz and sand. Chuck that in there. Oh, I love this thing. This thing is amazing. So yeah, if your screen ever like goes online and offline and online and offline, it's because you're having power issues. This is probably true in real life too, but it's very bad for your computer in real life. So if it's doing that, you should fix it. Let's get rid of that. So we need processor, calculation, engineering, calculation. So we'll do this. We need some more silicon, and I will arrange these more appropriately in a bit. So silicon, silicon. Let's get some redstone in there. And that will give us this. And now we can take this and do that. We can chuck those in there to do this thing. And we'll put power into the system. So things are generally going up, which means so one of the problems that we're running into is we have now hit our power ceiling. So we have access to all of our stuff, but if you'll notice, power here is going down when this was being used. So this is full, but we now need to begin worrying about having more power produced. But our system is now online. We no longer have to walk up and down. And I will be rearranging some of the stuff upstairs to take advantage of AE's slightly better handling of things. So we want to change the priority of this to 1,000. So it will always try to shove things in there first, and that's important. But I'd like to go ahead and thank everybody for coming. I'm really glad you did. If you liked the episode, please leave a like. If you don't like the episode, well, don't. Simple as that. Questions, comments, concerns can all go below, and I hope you folks have a great night.